That's a fire door. They won't be able to get through.
Yeah, you don't know how strong those things are.
I know precisely how strong they are.
Sarge, are you clean?
Yeah, none of them latched onto me.
My Schmetterling is melted. The twin barrels are torqued beyond recognition, so I drop it on the floor. Moth walks into a pool of light in the center of the corridor, and we look straight up. We've made it from the outer ring to the center of the station. We can see up to the dizzying heights of the spoke to the center of the core. Because the entire station is spinning on 2 axes, there is gravity here.
We're there.
What?
Up there is the self-destruct mechanism.
How do we get up there?
We don't. Remember? Our rebreathers are exhausted.
Your little trick back there blowing the pressure hull sucked all the air out of the core.
Wouldn't last 2 minutes on the ride up.
We wouldn't. But an android would.
Then I better go alone.
You think that's a good idea, Helen?
Elevator arrived. I'm not good with human stuff, but I can tell you want to say something.
Oh, to hell with this. The scripture says a machine will wield the killer of Earth. That thing up there. It's an Earthkiller.
When you go up there, you'll have your finger on the trigger.
I get in the elevator. A freshly dead Special Forces soldier lies on the floor. Reyes hands me her molt cartridge, and I put a hole in the dead Special Forces soldier's head. I hand the gun back to Corporal Reyes just as the door closes.
Destination, please.
Core.
Hull breach. This elevator cannot continue with biologics on board.
Override.
Decompression imminent. Warning. Oxygen levels at dangerously low levels. All human personnel must wear...
The silence is fascinating. I can tell that the pressure is less than a few millibars. Sound ceases to exist. I feel the elevator coming to a halt. Because of the change in the rotation of the station, the artificial gravity here is about 1/8 the G. So I grab a handhold with my free hand as the door opens. The cockpit light command center has a 30-meter cupola filled with the panorama of the glowing blue Earth below. The door automatically closes. The room is empty. Nobody here. Just a primary operator's console in the center of the massive ovoid room. Slowly, I approach the console. A series of red switches marked death in Neo-Chinese run along the top of the board. I throw the safeties, prepping the arming device. With all the safeties disengaged, I throw the primary and secondary keys. I open the door to the elevator, only to run into the Special Forces soldier. It punches at me, but I block the punch and neck jab the elevator zombie. He goes back and then starts at me again, only to be double punched in the gut. I smash my boot into the thing's face as it bends over, and then hammer its head with my crowbar, permanently bending the forged iron. It's then I realize the elevator is in free fall. I force open the door of the elevator and punch my arm through the crack. I slam against the ceiling of the elevator as my body reacts to being punched by the I-beams, and use my arm as a brake for the 2.8-ton elevator. I manage to punch open the elevator door and get down into a gangway on the officers' quarters level. There is a station map on the bulkhead, engraved on a rotating hologram. The damaged elevator took me on a lateral course through the radius of the station. I am almost half a kilometer from my embarkation point. There is another elevator which will take me to where I left Reyes and Mach, but it will be difficult to get to. There is a shortcut through the docking bay. The gangway leads to a door large enough for a shuttle to be loaded through from the hangars below. I slide the heavy blast doors partway open and see creatures. About 250 of them is my estimate, all turn to stare at me. I do not have time for this.
You've been listening to Earthkiller, Episode 10, No Biologics on Board. Written by Andrew Belware and Montserrat Mendez. Story by Montserrat Mendez. Produced by Laura Schlachtmeyer. Starring Robin Kurtz, with Zoe Anastasiou as Reyes and Monica Steady as Mach. Earthkiller is a Pandora Machine podcast composed and directed by Andrew Belware.